Any objections? Ms. Roman? You may proceed.
It says, this document contains information that I know of Gloria Williams. She is my niece and I thought of as her big sister. I knew her birth at the age of 3 years old and I became her babysitter. I would be her babysitter during my summer vacations from school. She and I became very close. After my graduating from high school from Rutland High School in 1970, she spent her summers at my father and mother's house during the summer months, and I resided with my sister and brother-in-law, Gloria Wilbert Brown, her parents, and Gloria Williams. And I shared the same bedroom with 2 twin white and gold princess single beds until I was married in 1974, at which time I moved into my own place. However, she spent numerous weekends with me during my marriage. Even after she was grown and married to her son's father, she would bring her boys over to spend weekends with me. I knew Gloria being a very compassionate individual, always with a caring heart. She loved children, even those that were a few years older than herself. She was like a mother hen, always trying to protect someone. For instance, back in 1985, I received major surgery and had to stay at her parents because I needed constant care, and my sister was supposed to take care of me and make sure I was showered and had my bandages changed. However, my sister was and still is a little timid when it comes to caring for family with wounds or very ill. But Gloria, being the compassionate person that she is, was a teenager, and she stepped right in and took care of me until I was able to go back to my own home. In 2002, I moved back to Rockland, South Carolina, and once again, I stayed with my sister Gloria and her husband, my brother-in-law Wilbert, at which time Gloria lived across the street from her parents. In 2004, I was diagnosed with a disease called ADN, and my hip broke, and once again, Gloria came to my rescue because I was home alone, and she left a wedding reception and came to take me to Colleton Medical Center, the nearest hospital. Gloria was very active in our church, and she was the coordinator over the children and youth. She was trusted with the children at church as well as in the community. She always had a positive attitude to encourage even the least of them. Gloria is a perfect example of what a single parent should be. She carried a smile that would melt her heart. My prayer is that once this is all behind her and she will get the opportunity to spread that beautiful smile wherever she goes. Not because she is my niece or sister, but because she is genuinely a nice person, and if she can help a person in any way, she will. And if she can't do it directly, she will get to the source so that she can assist you. Gloria is one of 15 nieces and 7 nephews that I actually had a hand in helping most of my siblings and their spouses raise their children, even though I did not birth any of my own. I say that they are all mine. Our family is blessed because, to my knowledge, we do not have any that are on drugs or homeless. Our family are supportive of each other, and I know that we encourage them all, even the great-grand, to lead well-rounded, productive lives. Thank you for the opportunity to share just a few of the attributes that I know of Gloria Brown Williams. If I can further assist you in any way or give any additional information, please do not hesitate to let me know. Thank you again, Susan SteaIing calls.
Very well. This document would be in evidence as Defense Exhibit 7.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well.
And Your Honor, we would next call Mr. Winarski Williams.
Very well. Good afternoon. Very well. If you'll come forward, Madam Clerk, Mr. Elan, and then if you'll please be seated.
Good afternoon, Ms. Williams. Will you please state your full name for the record?
Renoski Conover Williams.
And will you spell out for us?
WERNOSKIE CONEVY Williams WILLIAMS.
And are there any nicknames that you go by?
Oski,
How old are you, Mr. Williams?
55,
And where do you reside?
Walterboro, South Carolina.
Is that where you were raised?
I was raised in Hampton County,
And how far away is that from Walterboro?
about 35 minutes from Walterboro.
And do you still have family
Yes.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
And who are you married to?
My wonderful wife, Gloria B. Williams.
And how long have you guys been married?
About 6 years.
Are you currently employed?
Yes, I am.
Where is that?
Nimmer Turf Grass Sod Company.
And what do you do for them?
Truck driver.
How long have you been a truck driver?
Since 1992.
And Mr. Williams, do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I has a gospel group. I sings a whole lot. Ride motorcycle. Just be with a whole lot of friends.
And are you involved in a motorcycle club?
Yes, I am.
What is that?
The knee bruisers.
And what type of thing?
The knee bruisers. KNEEBRUERS.
And what kind of activities do you do with that motorcycle club?
We do fundraisers. We do charity rides. We clean up in the communities. We help families where needed. If they have a sick member, we'll help them with the bill. Whatever it costs, we'll try to do the best we can to help them.
And you said you've been married to Mrs. Williams for 6 years?
Yes.
And before that, how long did you date?
We dated about a year and a half.
And how was it that you met Mrs. Williams?
A motorcycle club, we had a function one night, and the owner of the club had invited the motorcycle club. So we were there, and I was talking to her aunt and some more other people in the club that I knew. And I was looking at her, and but I didn't say anything right then, And later on, I asked her aunt, who was she? So aunt had told me, so she gave her number to my cousin, and my cousin gave it to me. And I called her, and I invited her to my gospel program, and she came, and we hit it off from there.
And which aunt was that?
I beg your pardon?
Which aunt was that?
Susan Alls.
So Mrs. Williams went to your gospel group, and
Yes, she comes to my gospel programs.
what kind of, outside of going to your gospel group, during your year and a half of courtship, did you have an opportunity to meet her children?
Yes,
And who were those children?
Antoine and I forgot the other one name, but we hit it off good. I love it. Yeah.
When you were dating Mrs. Williams, where did you reside?
In Hampton.
And where was she living?
She was living in Ruffin with her mother and father.
And did she have a female child with her?
And what?
Did she have a female child at that time?
Yes.
Alexis?
Yes.
Ultimately, when you married Mrs. Williams, did you guys move to Hampton? Did she move to Hampton?
Yes, we were staying in Hampton.
And did that require a change in school for her daughter?
No.
Why is that?
Well, she was working at Veteran Victory House, and the school is right down the road from from her job. So she would take her to school, and then she'll go on to work.
So otherwise, she would have had to change schools, but for Mrs. Williams taking her to Colleton County?
Right.
Tell us about your relationship with Mrs. Williams.
But we have a good relationship. We got a great relationship. We go to church together. I would go to her church on first and third Sunday, and she would go to my church on second and fourth Sunday. And we have a great relationship.
What kind of things would you guys do together?
Then she go to my gospel program. We ride bikes together. We go shopping together. Sometimes we don't have no money, but we go window shopping, and it feels just as good. But we be together and have a good time with each other.
Was Mrs. Williams employed?
Yes,
Where was she working?
she was at Veteran Victory House.
And what was that?
What she was doing there?
Yes.
Administrator.
And was that a nursing home?
Yes,
And was she working full-time?
yes she was.
Did you also know her to be in school?
Yes.
Where was she going to school?
Limestone College.
Why was she attending school? How old was she when she went back to school?
Well, when she went back, she was a good student. She graduated.
How old was she when she went back to school?
I want to say about like 50, 52, something on there.
And what do you think prompted her to go back to school?
I beg your pardon?
What do you think prompted her to go back to school?
Well, she said she wanted to go back to school because she wanted to do better in life. She wanted to help her family more. And just be happy.
Did you know Mrs. Williams to use drugs?
No,
Did you know Mrs. Williams to abuse alcohol?
no.
Did you attend her college graduation?
Yes, I did.
Who else was in attendance of that?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Mother and Pop was there. Lexi was there. Yeah.
You all watched her cross the aisle? Or
Yes, we did.
Great. How was Gloria's relationship with her parents?
Good relationship. She look out for them. Daddy, you taking your medicine? Mama, you taking your medicine? She always concerned about them, you know, their well-being. And that's just the kind of person she is.
And now that she's been incarcerated, have you been trying to assist her parents in any way?
Oh, yeah.
And how so?
I go cut their grass. I ask them to see what else I need to do, what else y'all need for me to do. Just let me know. If anything else need to be done, I'll take care of it, but I do assist them a whole lot.
Do you recall how old Alexis was when you entered her life?
She was like around 8, 9, somewhere along there.
And how would you describe Gloria and Alexis' relationship?
They had a great relationship together.
Did Alexis seem to respect her?
Oh, yeah.
Did she mind her?
I beg your pardon?
Did she mind her?
Yeah.
Did Alexis seem well cared for?
Oh, yes.
And living in the same home with them, did you notice any odd forms of punishment?
No,
Any abuse?
no.
Did Alexis go to the doctor regularly?
Yes,
And did she have regular dental checkups?
yes, she did.
And does she in fact wear braces?
Yes, ma'am.
And how was she paying for those braces previously?
I don't know how much it was, but I would help, with the bill when it come to the house.
Prior to that, was that through Gloria's insurance?
Yes.
But since then, you have been assisting with paying the bill?
If Lexi would come to me, Oski, I need some help with the dental, with my braces. I said, okay, just let me know something, and I'll get with Mother and Pop, and we'll see what we can do.
Did Alexis attend church with you and Gloria?
Yes, she would go to church with us, my church and Buckhead.
And do you recall in high school whether she attended any school dances or proms?
Prom, yeah.
And did she have to get a new dress for that?
Yes,
And did she want her hair done for that?
yes,
And did she want new shoes for that?
yes.
Who paid for that?
Who had did what?
Who paid for that?
I believe my wife had picked her up.
Mrs. Williams helped out with that?
Yeah.
And for Alexis's high school graduation, were there things that you guys had to provide for,
Yes, ma'am.
such as a cap and gown
Mm-hmm.
and a graduation party?
Yes.
Who paid for that?
My wife and I.
And Mr. Williams, do you have other children?
I have 2 daughters,
And what are their ages?
Erica Williams and Zakila Henderson.
And what are their ages?
Erica, she's 25. Zakila, she's 12.
And does Erica have any children?
Yes.
And how old are her children?
Micaiah, he's 7. Aiden, he's 3.
And what was their relationship with your wife?
Great. They love to be around her. They want to come over to the house all the time. And she would fix them something to eat. Granny, I'm hungry. And that wasn't no problem, Yes.
Did you guys babysit for them often?
Yes, we did.
How was Mrs. Williams as a grandparent to them?
I beg what?
How was she as a grandparent to them?
It was good. It was good.
Does she have other grandchildren as well?
Yes.
Did she treat Erica's children any differently than she treated Antoine or Andre's?
No, they treated all of them just the same.
And Mr. Williams, obviously, we are here today because your wife has entered a plea of guilty to the charge of kidnapping as well as interference with custody. How did you learn of the news of that crime?
Well, I want my wife to come home, Your Honor. I realized that she made a mistake. And if you would be lenient on her, she come back to 914 Greenlight Street, Walterboro, South Carolina.
And how did you learn the news of this crime though?
I learned one day I came home from work, and her and Lexi was on the porch. And so she was crying. And so I got out my car. I said, well, what's going on, babe? She said, babe, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. So Lexi was telling her, Mom, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And so she said, babe, I made a mistake. I said, it's going to be okay, babe. You know, it's going to be all right. And we left it as that. I ran in the house.
Were you shocked by the news?
I beg pardon?
Were you shocked by the news?
Yes, I was shocked, but wasn't nothing that I could do. I couldn't say no more, you know, but it's going to be all right, babe.
So you're just being supportive of your wife.
Right?
Did it seem out of character for the person that you knew?
I beg pardon?
Did it seem out of character for the person that you knew?
Yeah. Yes,
How
ma'am.
so?
Well, I didn't know anything until that time, but it hurted, but I had to be strong for her.
And how has your life changed over the last 16 months during Gloria's incarceration?
It was a roller coaster.
Thank you, Councilwoman. You may inquire.
Thank you. Was upset.
No, she wasn't upset.
Just your wife was upset.
Yeah, she was crying.
So I thought you said that Lexi was crying.
I didn't say that.
Okay, that's what I was crying. I was making sure. You testified that that she made a mistake.
Yes,
You would acknowledge that that mistake was for 18 years, 365 days in all those 18 years,
I
correct?
can understand that.
And you found out how long before Mr. Williams was arrested?
About a year and a half, a year and about 4 months ago, somewhere on there.
Why didn't you do anything?
That's my wife.
So you just made a decision to support her?
That's right.
Do you acknowledge that had you told the Mobley and Aiken family would have known the location of their daughter a year and 3 months earlier?
So what now?
Had you told as soon as you found out, in other words, inform the authorities, that the Mobley and Aiken family would have found out about Kamala Mobley however many 15 months earlier?
I don't know.
That's all the questions I have.
Thank you, Council. Anything further? Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Please state your full name for the record.
Antoine Jarrell Bolden,
And will you spell that?
Antone, middle initial J, last name Bolden, Bolden.
And how old are you, Mr. Bolden?
29,
And where do you currently reside?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Have you ever served in the military?
Yes,
In which branch?
Army,
And how are you discharged?
general on the honorable conditions.
And are you currently employed?
Yes,
And where is that?
L3 Vertex Aerospace,
And what do you do for them?
material coordinator 2.
Is that through the Department of Defense?
Yes,
And how long have you been a contractor through the Department of Defense?
August 2017.
Do you know Gloria Brown Williams?
Yes,
And who is that to you?
My mom,
And who is your father?
William Lee Bolden.
Were your parents married?
Yes.
And do you recall when they divorced?
No.
Were you too young to remember?
Yes.
Do you recall the custody arrangement between the two of them?
Somewhat.
When would you spend time with Dad?
Mostly every other holiday, it will alternate. So she has us on Thanksgiving, he would have us Christmas, and then he would normally get us for the whole summer. So that's about a month and a half to 2 months.
So most of the school year is spent during with Mom?
Yes.
Where do you recall being raised?
Well, we were military brats, so a little bit of everywhere. Mainly Atlanta, Georgia, South Carolina. That's where we was, in Virginia, a lot of the times.
Tell me about your childhood.
Oh, mine was normal, fun. Having the luxury of spending half the time in the country, as far as in South Carolina, deep in the country, then having the other half spent in Atlanta was pretty fun. It was gave us a different experience, me and my brother and Alexis as well. So we had a good time. Childhood was normal.
Did you play sports?
Yes.
What sports were you playing?
Basketball mainly.
And that require any type of uniforms or things that Mom or Dad would have to pay for?
Yes, when I did AAU, and all the way up until I was about 13, then I took on teams that would sponsor a lot more. But most of the time it was my mom and dad that did a lot of the paying for the expenses for that, shoes, uniforms, banquets, things of that nature.
Did you have to attend church growing up?
All the time.
As a child, did you have chores?
Yes.
What type of chores?
Cleaning the room, kitchen. When I got to a certain age, we started cutting the grass. I'd say that was around like 11. Started cutting the grass. Typical chores though most kids will have in a standard household. You know, clean up behind yourself. You know, if that's your dish, you need to wash it out. Make up your bed, brush your teeth before you go to sleep. Things of that nature.
And did Mom work while you were growing up?
Yes.
Did Mom ever inflict abuse on you or your brother?
No.
Did she have any odd types of punishment for that either of you?
No.
Did you ever go hungry?
No.
Did you ever want for anything?
Never.
Did you know your mom to use drugs?
Never.
To abuse alcohol?
Never.
Do you recall a time when she was dating a man named Charles Manigo?
Yes.
Did he live at the house with you guys or stay over regularly?
Yes, for a period of time he did.
Tell me about that relationship. What do you recall?
It was the worst. Oil, I think it was like oil and water. Oil and water don't mix or something like that. So it was that. It was volatile. Verbal abuse. Too young at the time to really step in and protect your mother. We was like at the time, I think it was like 8 and 9. Maybe 8 and 9 at that time. So really couldn't do much but, you know, try to get your mom from that. Talk to your mom as much as you can from a 9-year-old standpoint. So, but it was a difficult situation growing up when he was around.
You said there was mental abuse.
Yes.
Was there also physical abuse?
Yes.
Did you observe some of that?
Yes.
What do you recall observing?
I call observing my mother being called out her name, her being hit for various reasons that I didn't understand at the time. But to me, it didn't require you to be punched in the face, slapped around, dragged across, or chase a band, you know, things of that nature. But he was out of control there. As a man, mentally he was out of control. So which drove my mom up a creek that wasn't the most healthiest condition for a mother, you know, at that time, my opinion.
Did you tell your father about that abuse?
Yes, not as much right away, but later on down the road, yes.
And what happened ultimately?
Ultimately, it led to my mother being taken back to court for custody arrangement and us going to be with our father.
So you went to live with Dad during the school year at that point,
Yeah, but yes.
and that was based upon the abuse that you observed and were living through.
Right.
Do you remember Mom being pregnant back in 1998?
Yes, I remember her having a belly. Yes.
And how old were you at the time?
1998, 2018, 29. What, 9? 9.
And you said you remember her having a belly,
Yes,
and were you excited about having another sibling?
of course.
Do you remember doing anything in preparation for the baby's arrival?
Other than going to Walmart, do I remember what was bought? No, I know.
You just knew you were shopping for the baby.
Yes, at Walmart.
What do you remember about the new baby's arrival?
I mean, everybody was happy. We had came back from Virginia and came back. Alexis was there. My grandparents was happy. The family that was around was happy. Aunts, uncles, and stuff came in town to welcome the new family member in. And I just remember good times. Everybody was happy at that point.
And did you have any nicknames for that child?
To my Alexis, a couple of them. Want me to give them to you?
Sure.
Okay. We got Lexi, Alexis, Lexus, Mrs. Me Too, because she always wants something that everybody else has. That's how she was. And the other ones, it just come when she do something in the moment. She'll get a nickname. Skittles was her nickname for a while, because she used to always eat Skittles. That was a deal breaker. She wouldn't tell on you if you give her some Skittles. So that was a good thing.
And do you recall assisting your mother when Lexi was younger?
Yes.
And how's it?
Looked after her. Mom made a quick errand into the store. We'd sit in the car with her, and that way Mom didn't have to take her in the store with her while she do grocery shopping. Get her from the bus stop when we got out of school in Atlanta, pick her up from the bus stop, walk her home. When she was a little younger, like a baby, help her out with the feeding the baby as far as on the milk and stuff of that nature. Just typical, what the older sibling would do for the younger one, try to help out.
And how was your relationship with Alexis?
Oh, that's my homie right there. She's definitely like one of my best friends. I can talk to her about anything. Mainly dealing with everyday life, what goes on. And after she got up a little bit in age, like 14, I would take her out, get her hair done, nails done. We'll sit back, kick it, and just talk. That's like one of my best friends right there. So yeah.
And how old were you when you left the home?
I was 18 when I left.
And how did you remain in touch with your mom and Alexis at that time?
Various ways: Skype, FaceTime, social media outlets from Instagram to Facebook, Twitter, emails. Yeah.
After leaving home and while you were in the military, were you overseas at some point?
Well, not while I was in the military. When I got out of the military, I went overseas and started government contracting.
And how did you keep in touch with them at that time?
Facebook Messenger, Instagram, DM, direct message, I'm sorry. Skype, FaceTime, any form of communication at that point.
And did you remain in regular contact?
Oh, yeah.
And you talked about your childhood, but how would you describe Alexis's childhood?
I think she was blessed. I mean, the childhood she had was outstanding, wonderful. she was able to go places, experience new things that a lot of her peers around her wasn't doing at that time, from vacation to different cities to theme parks, Carowinds. She had the latest and greatest, from shoes to hairstyles. So, I mean, I think she got a hairstyle on right now that's pretty dope. So, I mean, she stayed. She had a wonderful childhood, definitely.
Do you recall her being well cared for?
Yes.
Do you recall her ever being hungry?
No.
Did she appear to be a happy child?
Always.
Was she always enrolled in school?
Always.
And did she in fact graduate high school?
Yes.
How would you describe Alexis's personality?
I'll have to say she is definitely a jack of all trades. She would definitely come in the room and adapt to any situation and circumstance. So I like that. When she walk in the room, like Preacher said, she's like a firecracker. You instantly get snatched onto that smile, and you want to be a part of what she got going on, because she got a gift. She attracts people to her. For what reason, I don't know, but she attracts people to her, including myself. So that's a good trait to have, and she's a wonderful person to be around. Kind of remind me of like my mom's personality.
And would you consider Alexis a natural nurturer?
All the way a natural nurturer. She's definitely that.
And why is that?
I mean, there been times I've been sick. She would sit over here and just cater to me. She would, she would sit her schedule down from hanging out with her friends, and make sure I got what I need. Make sure my mom got what she needs, as far as when my mom was taking the medicine for her diabetes. Alexis was the primary point of contact for that. If something happened to my mom or knows what's going on, it's going to be Alexis. It wasn't Dre. It wasn't myself. It wasn't my nana or my grandfather. It was Alexis. So for a 13-year-old, 14-year-old that had that title is, is pretty good. But she'd take her nephews and nieces. She'd take them out, take care of them. Like I said, she'll change the whole schedule just so she can spend that time with them and nurture them. When my son came in this world, she was there from day one on the babysitting duties. She was there from day one, so I do appreciate her for that.
How would you describe your mom and Alexis's relationship?
A typical mom and daughter relationship, they was real good friends, and then when mom draw the line, the mama line, it was there, and Alexis respected it. I feel like between her and my mother, they had one of the best relationships I can see a parent having with their kid, period. Just the understanding, the constant picture taking. At every event my mom was at, you seen Alexis. Every event that Alexis was at, you see my mom. And you don't get them relationships nowadays like that with parent and kid, especially when they hit that 14, 15-year-old point. And Alexis was still by my side, by my mom's side, day in and day out at 14, 15. So.
Did Alexis have chores growing up?
Yes.
What type of chores did she have to do?
Cleaning dishes, basically the same chores that me and Andre had growing up, except she didn't have to cut grass. She didn't have to do no weeding, nothing like that. So her job was inside, clean the bathroom, her room, and kitchen when it's her rotation.
Describe your mother.
Oh, my mom. Oh man, that's my role model. She's a wonderful person, and I mean, honestly, she's everything I want my wife to be when I get married. She's genuine. She's loving. She's caring. She's. There've been days I wanted to have a bad mood. And she wouldn't let me have a bad mood, so I appreciate her for that. And she's that person. She would set aside her negative and focus on yours just so you can be happy in the long run. So I love her to death. I couldn't trade my mom in today, even if this situation didn't occur. I would still want to have my mom trade in today. Like, that's the person that was there when I was wrong. She was there when I was right. And she always can continue to be there. She did now, you know. And as of late, I've been having to think about what she would do in situations versus what I would do in situations. Because she seemed to handle a lot of the situations better than I do when it comes down to thinking it out before acting it out, you know.
Did she teach you respect?
Yes,
Did she teach you manners?
yes.
Would you say that your mom is a genuinely happy person?
All the time. I maybe can count on one hand how many times I actually seen her like just at that point. So, and 4 of them times was my fault, so I'll take that.
She's normally smiling, upbeat.
Normally.
How is your relationship with her?
That's like my older best friend right there. Like I told before this situation happened, I talked to her 4 or 5 times a day, 2 or 3 times before I go into work, lunchtime, and then on my way out the door for the rest of the night, I'll call her just to tell her good night. So if you had to look at it, that's my best friend. I can talk to her about anything, anything, and I know she's not gonna pass judgment on what I'm telling her. So, or repeat it most of the time. So.
And how far was Charlotte from Walterboro?
Give or take, depends on how you drive, 3 hours to 3.5 hours.
And how long have you been in Charlotte now?
Going on 3 years.
And do you have a son?
Yes,
And how old is your son?
3.
Tell us what type of grandparent Gloria was to him.
The best, honestly, my son was the first grandson she got to see born, so she was really connected to him. But my brother's daughter, she would drive across 3 state lines to pick her up just for 3 days and bring her back down to South Carolina, enjoy her in South Carolina for a whole week, bring her all the way back and then drive all the way back. But in the process of driving back, she would stop where I'm at and see my son. And if she got time, she would pick him up and take him to South Carolina for the week, you know. And I miss that, you know. I love being a father. I love it. I think it's the best job I ever had. And but every parent does need that break, and I don't have that outlet no more. My son don't have that outlet no more. And you know, he still talks about his granny, not knowing the current situation his granny is currently in. So it is a difficult situation right now, because my son don't have his grandmother that I know was a strong part in his life before the situation happened. I know she can continue to be there when everything is all said and done. It's just a pause moment, though. That's tough for everybody that's involved.
And how often would you see her living in Charlotte?
I see my mom almost, let's say 6 times in 6 months. She probably, see each other maybe once a month. Maybe sometime more than that, but mainly once a month, though.
Do you remain in touch with your grandparents, Gloria's parents?
Yes.
And living 3 hours away, is there much you can assist with?
No. Being 3 hours away and with the schedule I currently work, no. It's hard to assist.
Do you feel that Mom treated Alexis any different than she treated you and Andre?
No, we all caught the hand. Everybody got treated the same. I don't believe anything is fair. You can't do 50-50 with everything. So females need a little different attention than boys do need a little different attention. So, growing up, being an adult now, having my own child, no, we was all raised fairly in that sense.
what was going on in your mind?
I mean, a lot. You know, everything that went through my mind. How long I was gonna be without my mom. What's going on with my little sister. How my other family members is gonna be affected, especially my grandparents, my son, my niece. But mainly my little sister. At 18 years old, I didn't have to go through that. So the transition, to make it smooth, I think both sides, her biological family and my family, have tried to make it for her as smooth as possible, not pass judgment on anyone for any circumstances. And it's been difficult. It's been difficult because I don't want to lose my mom off one mistake. It was a heavy mistake. I don't want to lose her behind that. And I don't want my sister to feel like all that hard work she put into school over the last 18 years is like a waste. Like, you got to start over. Like, this stuff is different. You don't got somebody else you can depend on or anything of that nature. So it's been rough. We all been dealing with it the way everybody deals with it on their own situation in their hard times. But for me, per se, it has been rough because I have another life that knows his grandmother. And now he's smart enough to know that she hasn't been around for a while. Maybe not smart enough, maybe not now being able to know why she's away. But eventually at that point, I got to cross that bridge with her. So it's been difficult for everybody.
And since learning of the crime and since Mom's incarceration, have you kept in touch with Alexis?
Yes.
And how does she seem to be doing?
Well, she seemed to be doing pretty good. From the standpoint of, for the situation, you know, like, she's not your typical 18-year-old girl anymore, you know, 19-year-old girl anymore. She had a situation that shook her world up like it shook everybody else that was involved in that. So she's doing as good as she can do. And I know she can do better. And once everything is all said and done, I know she's going to spread her wings and fly. So she's going to be perfect. She was raised perfectly well. She's going to be all right.
She's still upbeat and happy?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
You mentioned it briefly, that how has your life changed over the last 16 years? Or 16 months, rather?
I mean, it's different. You know, when guys at work say they about to go do something with their mom this weekend, or, you know, they about to go to mom's house for dinner, I don't have that option. When it's come down to babysitters, I don't have that option no more. We're dealing with my mom, per se. But my world has went upside down because this is basically one of my best kept secrets. My job don't know about this. A lot of people that's around me day in and day out don't know about this. And mainly because I don't want nobody passing judgment on my mother. You know, me is something different. My mom, I know how great she is. And I love her to death, and I do want, and I know if we all get maxed out for mistakes that we make in our life, I mean, a lot of us wouldn't have some of the career paths we got now. I don't think a lot of us would have some of the opportunity we have now because we all make mistakes, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us going to make it when we walk outside this door later on today, whether it's running a red light or, you know, selling the wrong drug to the wrong person. It's a fatal hit. I look at my mom the same way I looked at her before all this happened. She's still my mother. I love her to death, and I'm always going to be there for her 100%.
You still supportive of her?
Still supportive.
And regardless of what happens when she's released, are you still going to be part of her support system?
That's my mom, of course.
Is there anything else that you think the court should know before imposing a sentence against your mom?
Yeah, I do. She's a great woman. She's smart. She went back to school. She showed us how to be a trooper. She showed us life ain't over. She had 3 kids she was raising by herself, and to me, myself, she did a great job. And then on top of that, she went back to school, got a degree, and at the time, she was going back for her master's at the time, if I'm not mistaken. Like, she was just she was an example. She was on the Tuskegee Airmen Community Service. She'd been at all my basketball games. She used to send me care packages all the time when I was overseas. Like, this woman is a great woman. I mean, honestly, I know everybody in here should feel the way they feel, because everybody's been affected here differently by her decision 19 years ago. But honestly, if you can sit here and watch a person just try to make up from that time as far as what they were doing, like to minimize that negative punch, she was great. She done took people in and off the street, like, friends of mine that, parents wasn't as strong as my parents, and took them in, raised them, graduated high school, things of that nature. Like, she's an awesome woman. And I mean, she needs to be, I think she deserves a second chance. I think she shouldn't get the max. I think she's at peace with the situation. She knew she made a mistake. She understands that. And putting somebody behind bar for 22 years, that's a lot. When they got so much they did before they went in, as far as like good in the community, good into the U.S. We don't have that many people around in this world today. We don't have a lot. And if before a sentence, if the court's going to take this in consideration, like, she's a great individual, and I know my mom, she's not going to make the same mistake twice. And I love her to death. Love you, Mom. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Fuller.
No problem.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yeah,
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
well, I respect all the words that you said. You treasure your childhood memories that you have with your mother.
Yes.
When you go to bed at night, do you sometimes remember those? Reminisce about what it was like growing up with a great woman, as you described, like your mother?
Yes.
Did you ever ask her for answers as to why this happened?
No.
As you never discussed her motivation or her reasons why?
At that point in time, sir, that wasn't important.
Did you find out before she was arrested or around the time that she was arrested?
Around the time she was arrested.
So did you know before she was arrested or after?
She called me the night before, saying it was a possibility.
And at that point, there was no questioning and discussion as to why she had done what she done?
I kind of took on my own, no, at that point we didn't answer no question, but I did take on my own notion of what I think it could have been.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I appreciate that, unless she told it to you.
Nah, she didn't.
Okay. Thank you, sir, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you, counsel. Anything further?
No.
Very well, thank you so much. It's almost 4:15. Do you want to proceed forward, or do you want to take a break?
I'll defer to the court and staff.
Hey, so we keep going.
Anybody want to break?